A fascinating rumor popped up today that I thought was very interesting in regards to the PlayStation and possibility of what they were going after. And the more that I thought about it, the more that I thought, it definitely makes a little bit of sense because for the simple fact that, Microsoft has kind of got themselves into a situation where they own a lot of the Western RPG makers. And that could be a problem for Sony, okay? RPGs in general have been a problem for, I would say, a generation anyway, right? So what I mean by that is Fable didn't come back last generation. I mean, it's going to come back now, but it wasn't for a while. Mass Effect kind of took a nosedive. Dragon Age took a nosedive. We got the one game, and that was pretty much it. Now, when it comes to other things, we did see, some things like The Witcher 3, obviously, was very good. But then even when it comes to CD Projekt Red, we had kind of an issue with that with their next game, which was Cyberpunk 2077. Who knows, man? I've heard that it's a good game. It just needed to be a current gen console instead of last gen. Now, with that being said, Microsoft now owns Bethesda, right? They do Fallout, they do, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, they're doing Starfield. They also own Obsidian, who are known for their stuff, and they're doing Avowed and things like that. Even In Exile is doing a new RPG, and then of course Playground is doing a new Fable. So they kind of have a lockdown on those type of games. So would it make sense for Sony to kind of lock down a team that can do Western RPGs good, and the money wouldn't be too outlandishly expensive? It'd be kind of in line with what they paid for Bungie, maybe a little bit more. But it's going to be fascinating, and I think you guys are going to want to stick around for it because it's going to be a good video, and I'm very eager to hear what you guys think about this. Hey, what's up everybody, Crab Gamer, and this of course is Crab Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few cool changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the world. I know you're all busy with, school, work, family, friends, all that kind of stuff. Gaming, yeah. But you're taking some time out to spend some time with me, and I very much appreciate it. Now, Microsoft has been on a spending spree. Sony's on a spending spree. And, listen, everybody is talking about what's going to happen next. I've been covering it quite a lot. Maybe you're tired of hearing about it, but these new rumors that come up and stuff like that, I just feel like it's definitely worth talking about and kind of getting the word out that, hey, you know what? This is definitely something that's going to be worthwhile. Now, again, CD Projekt Red, they are a bit of an acquisition candidate. They're coming off a bit of a failure. They're owned by 4 different people. Sony could definitely make it worthwhile. It falls within the amount of money that they have. If you think about it, they have 10 more billion to spend. Obviously, CD Projekt Red stock did drop previously last year for a company launching a flagship defining project, which was, of course, Cyberpunk 2077. The irony is that while CD Projekt Red's reputation has been stained, Cyberpunk 2077 is still likely to be a huge long-term success. The bugs will eventually be fixed, and many consumers are still interested. Clearly, I mean, I'm still interested. I'll be honest with you. I own it on Xbox, and I own it on PlayStation 4. So yeah, I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting for the next-gen updates, but I'm going to look forward to playing through it. There's going to be opportunities to re-release the game for PlayStation 5 and Series X and S. Unfortunately, CD Projekt's Red reputation has been tarnished, and the company now becomes one to watch as an acquisition candidate. This was clearly the case where the marketing and publishing of a larger company would have worked wonders. Prior to the launch of 2077, Microsoft was frequently mentioned as a potential purchaser of CD Projekt Red. However, Microsoft acquired ZeniMax for $7.5 billion in 2020, and so they may not be in a rush for another big acquisition that does RPGs. An acquisition of CD Projekt Red would be a risky bet. Even as the stock fell, CD Projekt Red is valued about the same as some of these other companies. However, there could be several companies willing to take a little bit of a risk, and one of them would be Sony. It's obviously that Sony needs something that would kind of compete with what Microsoft is doing in that RPG space. So if you think about it, Starfield is an RPG. The next Elder Scrolls is going to be exclusive to Xbox. You also have Fable. You have all these games that are going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. And Sony, I can't think of the last true RPG they've released. I'm not sure what that would have been. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, but as far as something that Sony owns, it's going to be competitive. And there's already, there's rumors that they're interested in Square Enix as well. But think about this for a second. CD Projekt Red is a team that has really quality developers, right? And they really got themselves in kind of a fiasco, kind of a bad situation with Cyberpunk because first of all, it wasn't ready, but they had to get it out. That's where if they had ownership and leadership, they could have possibly delayed that game and and done wonders for it. You have to have that kind of PR. People kind of mistake that stuff like, oh well, how would that have been better? How would that have been okay? If you would have had like that PR, I think that would have made things much easier. For me, anyway, I still think that it makes a lot of sense that they could pick up something like this. Do I think that's bound to happen or suddenly going to happen? Listen, I don't know about that. It's one of those things where, as a fan of gaming, we're going to see consolidation. There's not really anything I can do about it. There's not anything I can say about it. They have a good relationship with CD Projekt Red. It's just one of those things, like we're going to continue to see stuff like this happen. And again, it makes perfect sense where Sony is concerned because it's a need, right? And you have to look at these teams or look at these console makers sort of like your favorite sports team or whatever, and the trade deadline's coming up and they need to make some kind of trade. That's where we kind of come from, right? Basically, it's one of those things that people kind of look at and go, well, what do we need? Well, we need RPG. Well, that's where it kind of comes in at. And that's where I think we'll probably see more of these types of buys made, like right developer, right price, I think. Sony obviously doesn't have the type of money that Microsoft has, but, we can possibly see, both of these companies make some moves going forward, and I think that's probably what we're going to see. Now, CD Projekt Red, I know a lot of people the first reaction is going to be, nope, they're not going to do it. They wouldn't do it. And the reason why that would be the reaction is probably because you would be a fan of Xbox and you wouldn't want to see those games go exclusive to PlayStation. But I mean, listen, this stuff happens. We keep seeing more and more of these types of buyouts and things like that happen, and it's going to continue to get, piss off some people, and again, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen for sure. Take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But there were some people talking about it. Even some Xbox, well, quote unquote, insiders were talking about this as a potentiality. So, we'll wait and see what happens. I don't think it's set in stone or anything like that. We'll see. We'll see. I do think that it's an interesting thing to consider for a lot of reasons. And hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. It's going to be very interesting to see. Hopefully you guys will leave us a like. I love the discussions. I think that it's fantastic to have everybody that kind of talk about these things and go, you know what, it's interesting. It could happen. The industry's changing. It is what it is. Let's just kind of go with it. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up as always. Crap Gamer out.